On the Military Watch, Hampton Roads is making progress when it comes to housing homeless veterans, but hundreds are still out there on the streets.
On the other hand, New Orleans has made history as the first major U.S. city to essentially house every homeless veteran.
Investigator Jessica Larche traveled to the Big Easy to see how they do it.
New Orleans, Louisiana, known for its soulful sounds, historic sights. Yet in the shadows of this iconic city are those without a home, a scene similar for many here in Hampton Roads. But there's a difference in who you may find on the streets here and in New Orleans.
New Orleans became the first major city to wipe out homelessness among veterans.
With hundreds of homeless veterans still on the streets in Hampton Roads, News Channel 3 took action and traveled to the Crescent City to find out how they got results.
This is yours. You don't have to worry about where you're going to lay your head at night anymore.
No, that part of my life, I hope it's over with forever.
More than any other secret, it takes passion.
Martha Cagle is the executive director of Unity of Greater New Orleans.
We were all homeless after Katrina. Every one of us in New Orleans experienced, to one degree or another, that awful feeling of not having a home.
It's the lead nonprofit organization aimed at housing the city's homeless.
If people served our country, the least we can do is help them out when they need a hand, just like they helped us out.
In June, Cagle and New Orleans Mayor Mitch Landrieu answered the First Lady's challenge to house every homeless vet by the end of 2015. Landrieu charged New Orleans to do it by the end of 2014.
It was uncharted waters because nobody had ever really figured out how to get to zero.
By January 2nd, the city housed the last of its 227 homeless veterans.
If you come at it understanding the wrong of it, then you're going to plow through all the obstacles. And there are a zillion obstacles.
Obstacles like funding. This year, the federal government poured more money into housing vouchers for vets. The VA New Orleans worked to get vouchers processed quickly. And while some vets qualified for that funding, others didn't. So Unity worked to find other nonprofit and city agencies to fill the gaps. And there were more obstacles like housing. They worked with landlords to accept more vets with vouchers. And the city rehabbed the historic Sacred Heart Convent, dedicating most of its units to housing vets like Mr. Christmas.
This is A1 to me, you know. It can't get no better than this for me.
The former Marine became homeless 3 years ago when he was laid off from a bus driving job. Volunteers from Unity found him living in an abandoned house. They helped get his voucher paperwork in order and moved him here in December. He'll never have to pay more than a third of his income to stay.
A lot better than what I went through like the last 3 years, sleeping in and outdoors, underneath bridges, in abandoned houses.
And to track down others like Christmas,
we're brothers and sisters in arms, and we're able to relate them on a veteran-to-veteran basis.
The city assembled a team of 150 active duty and veterans to comb the streets.
It's just been a lot of elbow grease initiative to get this done, and I think we now have a toolkit that other major cities can use.
We were very excited because it means it can be done. It's possible.
Claudia Gooch with the Planning Council is helping to lead the way to end veteran homelessness in Southampton Roads. According to the nonprofit's numbers, there were 581 homeless vets on the peninsula and South Side when the state started a challenge to house homeless vets in September. Since then, they say a coalition of local, state, federal, nonprofits, and the VA have housed a little less than half, around the same number of vets New Orleans has housed.
It feels good.
Including former Navy sailor Rachel Small and her 4 children. She became homeless when her landlord decided to sell the home they were in. She's been in and out of cramped hotel rooms until funding efforts from that challenge led her to this home in Portsmouth.
Oh, I love it. It's a big relief.
Gooch says one roadblock they're getting through is working with the Hampton VA to process housing vouchers much faster. With that and additional resources, she believes Hampton Roads is on track to house every homeless vet by the end of this year.
We are hopeful that we can identify enough resources to get people into housing quickly and to reach functional zero as New Orleans has.
The president of the National Alliance to End Homelessness says what New Orleans has done for homeless veterans proves that this is a problem that can be solved. Also saying that every city and town in the country should look at New Orleans and say if they can do it, so can we. It's a message that will hopefully ring true in Hampton Roads by the end of 2015. On assignment in New Orleans, Jessica Larche, News Channel 3.